going on YouTube? It's your boy Carl back in another video. Today I wanted to talk about how you can start doing the work right now. And this specifically pertains to procrastination. So a little bit about my backstory. I am a notorious procrastinator. All through my life, I was always a procrastinator. In middle school, high school, whenever I had some homework, I never did it. I always pushed it into the literal very last second. I remember specifically in, I think this was high school, either 9th or 10th grade, I had a advanced math class. Believe it or not, like I had an advanced math class, and I never did the homework at home, ever. That entire year, I never did it at home. This is what I did. I had the math class 6th period, I think, 6th or 7th period, which means it was after lunch. So literally every single day, I never did the homework, and I always waited until lunchtime to do my math homework. Even when the homework was like a big ass math packet, right? Even when it was something big, like a large amount of homework, I still didn't do it at home. I always just did it there. And this is what I would do. I would either do it in the morning classes, like while the teachers was talking, I'm sitting here writing down notes to the homework. I'm sitting here writing down answers to the homework, my math homework that I haven't even gotten to the class yet. That was assigned yesterday. And so this is the type of person that I was. I just procrastinated everything. It seeped into everything that I did, even when it wasn't specifically math homework or schoolwork. It was just anything, any productive thing that I could have possibly done. I procrastinated it. I put it off to the side. When it came to cleaning my room, for example, or doing some chores or whatever, like I would always just put it off to the side and say, I'll do it later. I'll do it at the last second. That's what I did. And I kind of got by doing that. And so it took a long time for me to get out of that mode. And so when it comes to YouTube, which is something that you can't really procrastinate on because like this shit keeps going, you have to stay in motion. You have to stay active.
All right, people keep coming around messing up my flow. But point is, when it comes to YouTube, you can't really procrastinate as much. And so one thing that really was difficult for me in the beginning, which caused me to delay my YouTube progress, was the fact that I didn't want to do the work right now, which is mainly editing. Like making videos and scripting and stuff still takes work, but it's not as difficult as just sitting down and editing a long video. It just takes a lot of discipline to do that. Like you just sit down in a quiet area and just start editing. You know, like that takes a lot. That was something that I procrastinated on a lot. I used to just start a specific video and I'll just kind of do a little bit and then I'll just leave it and I'll never finish it, because up to that point I had never gotten used to really just sitting down and doing some work. I had never practiced that in high school or in college or anything. And so when I got back to community college, I had little homework assignments and big little projects and papers and stuff that I had to do. And so that was another element of the discipline where I just didn't have it, man. This comes to the gym as well. Like even in the gym, sometimes I didn't feel like working that hard. I didn't feel like actually pushing myself that hard in the gym in the moment. It's all about just doing the work in the moment, which is something that I struggled with. And so if you struggle with this, these are some of the tips that I come up with to overcome that. And so the first one is to remove the distractions. And so this is big, especially when it comes to editing something, because editing a video takes a while. It takes a long time. It takes like 30 minutes to an hour. And so any little distraction that you have can distract you, right? Like it'll distract you, and so it'll get you away from the task at hand. And so that'll prolong the process even longer. And so you want to remove distractions as much as possible. So this mainly comes in the form of phones. So take your phone, put it in a different area, put it in a different room. I'm sure you've heard this before, but this is something that really works. And another thing is that if you do get distracted, let's say if you do get on your phone, you do look something up real quick, and then you kind of get distracted on, you know, social media and whatnot. Because this is something that I used to do, like when I would edit a video and I'm trying to put pictures and videos from my phone into the video on the computer. And so I would like go searching for the video, and then I start watching other videos from my thing. Then I start getting on Instagram and shit. Then I get distracted, right? And so another part of that is just to recognize that you're distracted, right? It takes a lot of self-awareness, but you have to recognize that you are distracted right now. And so you have to get back into the mode. You have to get back to it. So that's another thing. So eliminate distractions, but you're human, so you're probably going to get distracted anyway. And so it's just about getting back to the task at hand and not letting that distraction linger forever until that time block that you set aside for this work is now over. You don't want that time block that you set aside to do this work, you don't want that to be over before you actually finish the work. That's what you don't want. So it's all about just recognizing that. And so then another thing is to set up beforehand. And so what that means in terms of homework, for example, it would be to look up all the things that you want to do beforehand, look up all the assignments and look up the criteria and the rubric for the assignments for the homework, and then you know already what to do. And so the next time you set aside that block, you can just get straight to the work. And when it comes to YouTube, you have to put the videos onto the editing software, right? And you don't even have to edit it. Like, that's just something that you can do. Like, just start the thing. When it comes to going to the gym, you can set your shoes right by your door, set your shoes right by your keys, you know, set everything up so it removes the friction. Because when you have to set up and then do the thing, when you don't want to do it anyway, that's what makes it even worse. When I have to sit there and sift through my videos and try to find the right video and then put into the editing software and let that load up for 10 minutes because it takes a while to load up. By that time, I don't really feel like doing it anymore. And it'll be a lot harder to actually get in that mode. But if I did that the night before or a few days before, if I had set everything up to where I can just come in today and just knock it out because it's already ready for me to do the work, then that makes it so much easier. It's all about removing friction. Because when you're a procrastinator, you're already going to have the friction and you're just in just your mental state alone. So you don't want to have physical friction messing up your flow. So you got to set yourself up for success. I've talked about this before, but you got to just set things up beforehand. And so the next tip is that you have to take breaks. You know, sometimes you got to take breaks. If you're doing a lot of homework, if you're doing a lot of studying, if you're doing, you know, YouTube or whatever, like, you got to take a break sometimes. You don't just want to do it all for like 3 hours straight without taking a break, because that's not going to happen anyway. So you have to give yourself grace and just take a break. You know, do it for like 30 minutes at a time. Take a little 5-minute break, go drink some water, go look outside, go take in a deep breath, and then come back and get right to it. You got to have the discipline to get back to it. Again, you don't want this distraction. You don't want this break to take too long to where your time block is now over. But it is important to take breaks. It is important to recognize, you know, that you're a human. You need some breaks. You're not just gonna be a robot and just work for 5 hours straight. For me, this is specific, but like when it comes to YouTube and stuff, when it comes to creative things, like if you're a songwriter, if you're a content creator, if you write posts, for example, if you write blogs, that's content. If you do that, if you make videos or whatnot, any type of content that you make, I actually recommend that you finish the thing that you're doing in that moment, or at least that day. You know, you got to finish it, but you can take breaks in between. But I personally like to have a focused block, and that really helps me to just get it over with without taking breaks and stuff. That helps me personally. You got to know how you work. You got to know how you operate. And so it takes a little bit of practice. You know, you got to do a lot of work and figure out your quirks and figure out how you like to get things done. And so the next thing is to realize that this is your opportunity. And what I mean by that is, like, every day is not the same thing over and over. You know, like, every day is continuous. Life is continuous. And so you have this moment right now. You set aside this time block to do this work, whether it's studying, whether it's homework, whether it's YouTube, whether it's writing a song, whether it's recording a song. You've set aside this time block to do it. And so this is your opportunity to do it, now or never, basically. When you're in the gym, when you've got up and you took your little pre-workout and you got yourself ready, you put on your socks and shoes, you put on everything, you got in the car, like, you're here right now in the gym, you might as well go hard. You know, you're here right now sitting in front of the computer, ready to work. You might as well just do it. That's really what helps me. It's like realizing that this is my opportunity and I have to seize it. Because if you don't do it right now, then you're gonna have to do it later. You know, and so you don't want to put yourself, you don't want to put extra work onto your future self. Right? That's how you diminish your self-respect. That's how you do worse, right? Like, you don't want to do that. You want to do shit right now, and so you don't have to worry about it later. That's how you build your self-respect, because then you're like, when it comes to the future, you're like, yes, I'm so glad that I did that a long time ago, so I don't have to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing that all the time. Like, all the hard workouts that I've done in my life, I'm like, I'm glad I've done that shit already, because I don't really feel like doing that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's where self-respect comes from. But it's just about doing it right then and there. This is your opportunity, so just go. You don't want to put hard things off for your future self. You want to protect your future self. You want your future self to have as little work to do as possible. So just do all the work right now, because then time will pass and this will subside, and then the work will already be done. It's about just getting it over with and getting it done so you can move on to the next thing. So that's why I say to just finish stuff. you know, when it comes to content and doing creative things, especially. Just finish it and get it over with so you can move on to the next thing. So overall, just it's about your mindset. It's about just being able to do the stuff in the moment. There's been a lot of times where I didn't feel like doing the editing, and so sometimes it'll take me like 2 hours to edit a 10-minute video, you know, because I get so distracted and I just keep procrastinating. I keep just getting on social media. I keep distracting myself. But at the end of the day, when that 2 hours is over, that video is edited, and so I'm done. All right, so I don't have to worry about that tomorrow. I don't have to come into it tomorrow when I need to edit a different video and be like, oh shit, I didn't even finish the video from yesterday. Now I gotta sit here and do this video from yesterday, and then that's setting back my progress for the next video, because then I'm probably not gonna feel like doing 2 videos in one sitting, and so that just sets you back further and further and further. That's why I say you don't want to push things off to your future self. Just do it right now and get it over with so your future self can thank you. That's what helps me personally. It's just like, look, I just got to do this real quick. I just got to get this over with, and then I can chill. Then I'll be good, right? And so just having that mindset, just knowing that this is only temporary, this pain is temporary, that's what helps me get over it. And so that's how you do the work right now and stop procrastinating. So those are my tips. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.